What's going on, rock stars? Welcome back to another episode of the 1% Life Show. I'm your host, peak performance coach and trainer, Joni Dillon. Man, what day is it? Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Hope you're having an incredible week this week. And I wanted to talk to you about, so as you know, I've been, or you may or may not know, I've been participating in and helping to facilitate my partner's NLP Master Practitioner training, which is actually where we met in the practitioner training. And we also did the master prac together as well about 5 years ago. And so I've been here in Montana. We have clients who are currently doing this first 6 or 7 days online, and they're flying in from all over the world to finish out the last half of it. And so NLP has been on my mind. I mean, it's on my mind every day. It's what I do. It's how I get the results that I get with my clients, is I help, or a big portion of it is that I help them. And if you don't know what NLP actually means, it's neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. And I like to call it the study of excellence, right? And so it's how we do what we do and how we get the results that we get. And if you look at the results that you have and you're not happy with them, well, what neuro-linguistic programming helps you to do by looking at the language that you speak and the neurology that's firing and wiring and happening in your body, including the strategies that you have and how you get to the outcomes that you have. So NLP addresses all of that. It's one big body of study. And today what I wanted to talk to you about is the 5 principles of success, the 5 principles of success from an NLP model of the world, okay? So if you're listening to us live on Facebook, let us know, first of all, where you're tuning in from, where in the world, and if you're listening to us live or the replay. And if it's your first time listening, welcome into the show. We always want to know that as well. So rockstars, why is this important to know the principles for success? I believe it's important because far too many people flounder. They flounder. Like, I know I'm meant to be successful. I know that I'm meant to achieve more, but they have zero clue on how to achieve more. And that really impacts their results, right? Because if you don't know how to achieve more, then how do you go after more and get more? Maybe this is making sense to you. So the first principle of success, because many of you have heard me say this before, the conscious part of your mind, your conscious mind is that part of your mind that is the goal setter. It's that part of your mind that actually consciously, intentionally writes out your goals, declares them out to the universe, and it's consciously put out into the world. That's your conscious mind. Yet that's not the part of your mind that actually gets the results and the outcomes that you desire in your life. It's actually your unconscious mind, or many of you have heard it called your subconscious. And so it's your subconscious mind. In fact, your subconscious mind dictates 95% of your life. And most people operate out of addressing their conscious mind and conscious behaviors, as opposed to that part of the mind that actually controls everything in their life, which is your subconscious mind. I might have to turn the AC on, and unfortunately in a moment, because the dogs are panting, and I wanted to help with the noise, but if I get up, that's why, for a hot second. So your unconscious mind is actually that part of your mind that's the goal getter. And are you working with and commanding your unconscious mind on where to go? See, what the number one principle, I should say, not the number one, but the principle number one is know your outcome. Know your outcome. And most people don't know what they want. They have no clue on what they actually want in their life, what they want in their career, maybe what they want in their health, what they want in their relationships. So contextually speaking, if we're speaking specifically about career, what is it that you want? Do you know that? And if you don't know that, your unconscious mind's just simply like, I don't know what the heck you want me to do. And that's the part of your mind that actually is responsible for you getting the results that you desire. You're starting to see how this is a problem, right? So you have to give your unconscious mind clarity. So the most important thing is to know the outcome that you desire. What specifically is it that you desire? Specifics are very important. And, the other part about this is people will say, for example, I don't want to be broke anymore. Well, first of all, the unconscious mind negates negatives, right? It just cancels them out. It doesn't even process them. So what you're saying is you want to be broke, but you're not actually saying what specifically you want. Do you want to make a certain amount of income? Do you want to have a certain amount of wealth acquired, and in what areas, et cetera, or what different verticals, et cetera, right? What do you want your portfolio to look like? What specifically do you want to achieve in that area of wealth, as opposed to just focusing on not wanting to be broke or not be in the financial situation that you may or may not be in? So when you know your outcome, you actually have somewhere to go. You have the road, like you may not have the full roadmap, but you have the destination point on where specifically it is that you're going. And your unconscious mind knows that there's something to achieve. It needs direct orders. It needs clear orders on where specifically to go. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second part of the principles for success is take action. Like, how many of us say we want this and then we sit around like, I mean, I don't, but many people do sit around and just, okay, is it just going to happen? It's going to fall in my lap? No, you can't meditate your way to the top. You can't meditate your way to success, right? You actually have to take action. This is key. This is crucial to getting any outcome that you want. You have to, if you want to impact the world, well, you have to take action to impact the world. You can't sit again and, pray about it. You have to do something about it. And maybe you got to take massive action, right? Maybe you have to take massive action. Also, I want to mention that the accumulation of action every single day, right? Like doing a specific behavior every single day over a prolonged period of time is going to result in momentum. It's going to tip the scale towards actually having the results and big results. So take action, and if you're really serious and you're really excited about it, take massive action. And the other part of it is you need to enroll people in your vision, right? Part of taking action is learning how to enroll people. What does enrolling people mean? It means learning how to create influence over those who actually have a part in us getting to the outcomes that we desire. So none of us get there alone. I cannot ever get to where I want to go in my business and the impact that I want to create in the world alone. I have a team that's behind me. I have a partner who supports me. I have, clients who are a part of it, right? And if I'm not able to enroll them in my vision, if I'm not able to enroll my director of sales in my vision, my director of operations in my vision, they may have a very different vision. And if I can enroll them in my vision, then we're going to go in different directions. You get that? If I cannot enroll my clients on why they need me to help them create massive transformation in their life, then they're going to go to somebody else. If I cannot enroll people who we partner with and affiliate with as to why they should partner with us and create affiliate relationships with us, then they're not going to. They're going to go to somebody else, right? So enrolling people in your vision is really, really important, an important part of taking action and getting the outcomes that you desire. And I think this is where a lot of people just don't get it, right? I mean, words are a very small percentage of communication, and it's meaning that 93% of communication is nonverbal. 93% of communication is not words. Only 7% of communication is words. So if you're only using your words and you're not using everything else, well, then you're missing a huge part of communication. And when we're looking at your words, what specific words are you using and with intention to actually create massive influence? This is really important all around the second part of the second step to or second principle for success, of taking action. The third part is having sensory acuity. Now, I'm not going to go into this in super detail. This is it's an NLP, a neuro-linguistic programming term and terminology, and it really is being able to, any outcome, again, that you want requires that you interact with other people, okay? You have to interact with other people, and you're impacting them in some way in order for you to get there. So without sensory acuity, you don't know if your message is getting through to them or not, right? You don't know, because what it really means is being able to calibrate what do they look like from their facial expressions, and there's different ways to figure this out. Again, we're not going into the depths of it, but where were they before the communication began, and where are they after the communication began, and throughout the process, right? And if you're not able to calibrate their sensory acuity, and oh, something shifted. Oh, they're not following me. Oh, they're totally not with me. Then how do you know that you don't know if you're leading them or not leading them, or if they're totally in another world or not? So sensory acuity in the world of NLP, and I believe in all worlds, is absolutely essential. Being able to understand if the person who you are attempting to create influence with is actually listening to you, is actually following you in your message and what it is that you're attempting to communicate or get them to take specific action on. This can also be used in a sales context. I'm sure you understand that. And number 4, having behavioral flexibility. Having behavioral flexibility is huge. I've talked about this on past episodes. what does this mean? Look at the economy and look at the climate rather that we're living in right now, the upcoming economy. The storm is coming. If you have not heard me say this, the storm is freaking coming. If you do not know how to have behavioral flexibility, you're going to be operating out of the same exact way that you were operating before, and that's not going to work. You have to be able to adapt to the environment that you're in. You have to be able to adapt to change when it comes up. You have to be able to say, okay, yeah, this may suck, and I'm going to do it anyway, and be able to have that flexibility in behavior. Think about it contextually in your work environment. A lot of my clients right now, every single day, something's different when they go in. First, you're wearing masks. Now you're wearing this kind of mask. Now you can't sit within this much feet apart, from one another. And now you have to like use iPads as opposed to even pencil pitching anything out. Like there's constant change. And, 1 minute it's like, oh, you can't say that. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, and having behavioral flexibility is absolutely essential, because the person with the most behavioral flexibility will actually dominate any situation, anything that you can think of. And the person with the least is not. They're going to crumble and fall and be the victim of their environment. Okay, so having behavioral flexibility is absolutely essential, and it is one of the 5 principles of success. The 5th principle of success, and I'm speaking really fast because my partner's coming home from the training right now, and I'm in a hot RV because of the noise factor, with dogs ready to probably pounce on me if they could. So the 5th one is operate from a physiology and a psychology of excellence. So what does this mean? Look, we have a choice in any given moment of our life. We have a choice as to how to act and how to behave, and how how do I say this? How to operate from, like the way that we want to operate from. Do you want to operate out of, a piss poor attitude, or one of, this just sucks. It's just terrible. I'm not going to be able to do what I want to do because of so-and-so and this new change and all the stuff that's going on right now, and this environment and COVID and this, that, and the other? Or do you want to do the best that you can do given the current environment, be at cause for your results, as opposed to being at the effect of or being victim to, and choose to operate from a physiology and a psychology of excellence, meaning everything that you do is total excellence, right? How can I do this with greater level of excellence? And this is impacted by, so you may or may not know this, but in any given second of our lives, there's 11 million bits per second of data that's coming in through all of our senses, through our vision, right? Like when we see, what we're seeing, what we're hearing, what we're feeling, our senses are kinesthetic, what we're smelling, what we're tasting. There's 11 million bits per second of data coming in, yet our conscious minds can only process 126 of those bits, right? Like 126 of 11 million. So what you choose, like the meaning that we give that data that's coming in, is really important as to how you operate, right? If you're going to operate from a psychology of excellence, or if you're going to choose to operate from a psychology of, the opposite of excellence, which is like, I don't know, defeat. I don't know what it could be. Just crap, right? So you get to choose how you want to operate, and it's how you're making sense of this data that's coming in and the meaning that you're giving that data, and then understanding when you're giving it a certain meaning and saying, well, I actually could choose to see this differently. I may have seen it this way, but is that the truth? What if I could choose to believe something different about that? What if I could choose to have a different story that could help support me and give me greater empowerment towards where I'm going and towards the outcome, or simply the activity that you're doing in that moment, whether it's in a sales presentation, whether it's in a conversation with somebody and you're looking for a specific outcome and you're reading their face and they're like, oh my God, you're making meaning of it. You're like, oh, they're totally pissed at me right now, and I'm going to get triggered in this moment and just start yelling. You could choose to do that. Or you could say, I'm going to choose to operate from a physiology of excellence, right? Meaning like your body, like choose my state. I'm owning it right now. I'm choosing how to be in this moment. And a psychology of excellence, meaning I'm focused on the outcome that I desire, despite what's going on in my environment, despite how this individual is showing up to me right now. I'm choosing to not create meaning, to actually focus on where I want to lead them to, right? So your focus matters, right? What you're focused on. Are you focused on where you want to go? Or are you focused on the problems, the situations, and the circumstances that maybe aren't like you want them to be in the current moment or the current period of time? You can always change your circumstances by changing your focus. And this is what not a lot of people actually understand. I'll give you an example. I was talking to one of my clients a couple days ago, and she was so focused on how these clients were showing up to her. None of them want to set appointments. None of them want to, they don't even show up for their appointments. Of course they don't. That's where your focus is. If your focus is on the fact that they're not showing up for their appointments, they don't even make appointments, and that, everything that your company's teaching you right now is totally wrong and it's not how to set up, well, guess what? Nothing is going to work for you. It's absolutely not going to work. You have to shift your focus. And when you shift your focus, your physiology shifts as well. I hope you get that, right? When you're focused on what you want and the fact that this is happening, this is easy, they're booking their appointments, they're keeping their appointments, I can actually help take them to their, to a better life. I can help them transition out of their problem into the solution. Your focus has shifted, therefore your physiology, what your body is feeling, your state has shifted as well. And this is really crucial when it comes to operating out of a physiology, right? Your body of excellence, and a psychology, because your physiology directly impacts your psychology. How you feel impacts how you think, and how you think impacts how you feel, right? It's all interrelated. So if you're worried or sad about things that are happening in the environment, that tremendously impacts your physiology, and thereby impacts your success. You're not going to be able to go out and create the success that you want if you're feeling that way, if you're feeling in an unresourceful state, we call it. So rockstars, I want to just, let me go through those real quickly, briefly, in terms of what they are. Again, the 5 principles of success from an NLP, neuro-linguistic programming model, which is number 1, and I believe the only model to operate from. Again, these are just frames through which to see the world. You can choose to not, or you can choose to do, and you can choose to step into, right? And if it's going to serve you, why not? Number 1, know your outcome. Always be totally clear on where it is specifically that you're going. Even if you don't know the how to get there, know the outcome. Your unconscious mind needs clear directions. It needs clear orders. It needs to know the roadmap in terms of the destination. The how can be figured out, right? The roadmap meaning the destination. The how can be figured out. Oh, my partner's coming. Got to wrap this up. Number 2, take action, right? Take action. Go out and do the thing to get the result. Stop praying about it. Start doing the things. Start doing the behavior. Number 3, have sensory acuity, so that if people are listening to your message, or they're totally lost, if you're influencing them, or if you're not at all, because they're in their own world, in their own trance, and not even listening to you at all. Number 4, have behavioral flexibility, so that you can adapt and evolve to any environmental situation that's going on, or no matter who's coming at you with what, you can adapt and evolve and just change in the moment. And it's super easy because you have behavioral flexibility no matter what's happening. I have behavioral flexibility right now. I'm in a hot ass RV. I'm here. My partner just pulled up. I'm trying to get this done. I got to go barbecue. I got to get the dinner ready. Dogs are hot as shit, right? Like, I have behavioral flexibility. This is the only way the podcast is going to get done tonight. And on top of it, it's 8:42 p.m. Lastly, Rockstar, operate from a physiology and a psychology of excellence. This is a choice. Choose what your 126 bits are that you are choosing to focus on. Choose those wisely. Choose what meaning you make of the information that's coming at you in any given second. And guess what? We're deleting, we're distorting, we're generalizing all of that data, and you get to choose how you want, what the meaning you want to give it. Okay, I gotta bounce, y'all. It's been great. My partner's had a really long day of training, and he wants in the RV, and I'm all about and all of that stuff. So Rockstar, I'm having behavioral flexibility as he is right now, sitting outside the RV, and I'm letting him in. Y'all are incredible. Let me know that you got value from this by leaving a 5-star rating and review. Get out there and be unstoppable. Change some lives today. You certainly deserve it, and they do too. Peace.